Okay, hello everyone again. This is uh, the second video of Younde goes to the town. I will continue these stories in part 2. Okay, what will happen on Younde? Okay, let's go together. Start. Younde goes to the town, part 2. The crowd was very great. People pushed and shelf, for it was the big market day, and everyone within walking distance had come to sell or buy. Younde had never seen so many people in one place. The stories he had heard about Accra hadn't done it justice. He stopped an old man with a drum under his arm and said, "So many people at all one time? What makes so many people all come to Accra?" "Minu," the old man said. Younde was overwhelmed. What influence that Minu had! People came to Accra in great crowds just because of him. How ignorant folks back in the village were of this great person. He went out of the market down to the ocean's edge. Lying in the water were many little fishing boats with sails, the first Younde had ever seen. "Wow! To whom do all those boats belong?" he asked a fisherman standing on the beach. "Minu," the fisherman replied. Younde walked away and came to where a large iron cargo ship was being loaded with palm oils and fruit. Smoke came out of its stacks in huge black clouds. The hundreds of men swarmed over its deck. "Ah!" Younde said in great excitement, to a man carrying a stalk of bananas on his head. "This must be the largest boat in the world." "Minu," the man said. "Yes, I know. That's much I guessed," Younde said. "But where is all the fruit going?" "Minu," the man said, and went up onto the deck of the ship. Younde was overcome. Minu was indeed a great man. He owned everything. He ate everything. You couldn't ask a question, but people would answer Minu. Minu here, there, everywhere. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it, Younde said. They ought to call Accra Minu's town. How wonderful it would be to have Minu's great wealth. Younde then transacted his business in Accra. And again he wrapped food in his cloak and set it on his head and started out for home. When he came to the edge of the town, he saw a great procession and heard the beating of drums. He came close and saw it was a funeral. Men were carrying a coffin, and women were crying out in mourning. It was the most impressive funeral Younde had ever seen. He pushed his way into the crowd and looked. And to one of the mourners he said, "Who is this person who has died?" And the mourner replied sadly, "Minu." "What? The great Minu is dead?" Younde said. "The man who owned the cattle and the tall house, the sailing boats and the iron steamship, the man whose reputation was crowded the marketplace beyond belief. Oh, poor Minu, he had to leave all his wealth behind. He was died just like an ordinary person." Younde continued his way out of the city, but he couldn't get the tragedy of Minu from his mind. "Poor Minu," he said over and over again. "Poor me, poor Minu." Okay, this is the end of the third story, and you will have several quiz for this story too. So before doing quiz, I hope you will read it this story again and again to get the meaning and the full understand of this meaning of this story. Okay, thank you very much for listening to my video clips and watch my video clips. Thank you.